Hi, and welcome to this climate finance training session. My name is James Hayslip, and I work at the UNEP Copenhagen Climate Center. And with this presentation, I aim to communicate some of the background and purpose of the webinars, where it's coming from, and provide a bit of context. So it's a deliverable and output of the NDC Action Project, which supports 10 countries, where we aim to help translate NDCs into concrete strategies and actions ready for financing and implementation. And so it aims to enable or help secure public and private investment in the specific NDCs, and we do so in these 10 countries by supporting 2 priority sectors, which are themselves selected by the partner countries. The NDC Action Project is in its final year. It's a 4-year initiative funded by the German ICI program, implemented through UNEP with technical support from ourselves here at the Copenhagen Climate Center. And it builds on 3 core principles. The first one is country ownership. The second one is a balance between adaptation and mitigation actions. And thirdly, a key principle is to integrate national development priorities with those of the NDC, so that everything we do is aligned with the national sustainable development ambitions. So that's a bit of background to the project where this outcome is coming from. The overall intended outcome of the NDC Action Project is to help apply a systematic approach to using policies and economic instruments that drive public and private investment in NDC Action implementation. And the work is divided into 4 sort of big buckets that are not necessarily stepwise, but are sort of pursued in some kind of parallel fashion. But the emphasis is really overall, I would say, on output 3, bucket number 3, which is highlighted here on the financial aspect, the development of climate-friendly investment plans and proposals following government direction. And this is the training that really supports that activity, and that is the culmination, I would say, of all the other activities which are inputs to that area of work. So that's really the core content of the project. And in terms of the purpose of this financing webinar, the target audience is principally the National Technical Institutes participating in the project, and also government officials working in the governments that UNEP supports. But it's also of relevance to wider stakeholders within the project and also beyond the project. So this will be a knowledge product essentially made available for anyone interested in future beyond the NDC Action Project. Thinking a bit more internally about the NDC Action work, we've produced a technical guidance note on how to structure and develop sector-specific investment plans and proposals. This was published early last year, January 2023, and again, primarily for the benefit of the National Technical Institutes, but it's also available online and of relevance to anyone interested. So a final slide here to just walk through the content of the webinar. It's structured in 7 different presentations, and we start by introducing general aspects of climate finance, the different definitions, sources and flows of global climate finance, and the relevant key principles when presenting a proposal to potential investors. The second presentation will cover the approach to presenting climate impacts and climate impact scenarios, and how to present the climate rationale for mitigation and adaptation proposals, and how to communicate baselines and business as usual scenarios. That's also an important aspect that we'll cover. The third presentation covers the importance of understanding the barriers to preventing investment in low carbon or climate resilient technologies, what is the current situation, building on the baseline, and how to perform or structure a barrier analysis which can be used to define the actions and construct a theory of change. And the theory of change is really the summary way of presenting the overall rationale of a proposal. So that's an anchor for the entire process. The fourth presentation will cover the expected costs and benefits of a proposal, including an overview of the cash flows and how to apply financial indicators to assess the financial robustness and identify potential risks through a sensitivity analysis. So that'll be covered in the fourth module presentation. The fifth presentation introduces the concept of financial structuring, basically the engineering of different financial sources and instruments in order to bring the proposal or the concept from feasibility to bankability. And I think here it's important to mention that although we focus on sources of global climate finance, like the GCF, for example, coming from the convention, it's often a means to de-risk or help access other sources of capital investment, which could be both public and private, both national and international. So it's really focusing on the role of global climate finance to unlock other sources. The sixth presentation will describe how risks should be presented and addressed in project proposals, and how risks can be identified and classified, and which financial instruments can be applied to alleviate these risks, de-risk and attract the investment, which again could be public and ideally private. Finally, the seventh presentation will cover additional aspects of impact, including the concept of transformational change, which is often used in climate negotiations and discussions, and this is another way of describing a sort of paradigm shift, and how can we include this in a theory of change, because especially for sources of public global climate finance, they want to see how this will have a catalytic effect and not just finance one specific installation or investment opportunity, but will trigger a wider cascading effect of investment and transform a sector from high to low carbon or high risk to climate resilient investment. So that is the overall scope and content of the modules, and I will leave it to my colleagues to deliver those in subsequent presentations. Thank you.